All right, looks like we are recording. Just wanted to thank everybody for taking the time to jump on this live Zoom introduction to a company we call LifeVantage. I'm going to tell you two sides of a story today. I'm going to tell you a story about the product, and I'm going to tell you a story about the opportunity, and I believe both of them are as equally impressive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can kind of see. I always believe it's a good idea to have people look at something. So first off, I want to introduce you to who I am. This is a picture of me and my family, and my wife is pointing to her cell phone in this picture. But that's our family. You know, it's my wife, Sarah, our daughter, Hannah. Sarah and I met in the fitness industry. And you can see on the side over here, there's several logos of the companies that I've worked with in the past. And the reason why this is important today, you guys, is because everybody has a story. You've got a story. You're here listening to this story, but at the end of this whole thing, you're going to ask yourself one question. Does it resonate with me? Is it something that I even want to check out? Is it something that's going to be beneficial to my life? And so we all have a story. And so I'm briefly just telling you my story because this is how I got introduced to this. And today I like to refer to myself as an overpaid storyteller. I'm here at a company called Henderson's Lineup where I help them with brand management. And so we all have a story. And you can see there's lots of logos over there to the side, different companies that we worked with. And when you work in the fitness industry, sometimes you feel like you've got a bullseye on your back. And I mean that in the sense that everyone who gets passionate about a product wants to share it with you. And they should be passionate because if you're not passionate about it, then what's the point of taking it or even sharing it? So I don't fault people for passion, but the frustration that I had is, you know, my average gym had 9,000 members in it. And so I can't, you know, just say, oh, you're passionate about your product, so we're going to go ahead and start selling it in our gyms. We couldn't do that. And so Sarah and I met in the fitness industry, and we have seen many products over that course of that time. And so today I want to share with you why I'm sharing this opportunity and this product line for you. And here's the reason why. I needed scientific data. I needed scientific proof before I would just embrace anything. And so when you have many members coming to you, showing you stuff, you don't want to be mean. You don't want to just say no. You want to have a reason why you say no. And so what I did is I did a little test. I would take their product and I would go to a website called PubMed. If you haven't heard of it, write this down, PubMed.gov. It's not a .com site. It's not a blog. It's a government library for doctors and scientists. In fact, PubMed was around before the internet. It was a way in which computers talked to one another for the scientists, and that's how they did their research. And so when I would take a product that was given to me by a member, I would say two things. Listen, I don't want to see your brochures and marketing material. In fact, that's what I do for a living, make brochures and branding. So I don't want to see that. And also, I don't really necessarily care about your ingredients because last time I checked, you don't have the exclusive rights to like green tea, for example. It's been around for hundreds of years, thousands of years. And so you don't have some exclusive right to an ingredient. What I wanted to know is what the name of your product was. And I would go to a website called PubMed, like I said, and I would usually get 3 words, no results found. And it's not that the product's not good or anything like that. There just was no scientific data. It was a way for me to get out of that situation where I had to look at everything. It was a quick way for me to say, is there science behind this? Well, it earned me the nickname in the industry, the network marketing antichrist. Don't talk to Rich. He's always saying no to everything. And it wasn't necessarily that I was saying no. It was my quick way of finding out, was there scientific proof? So that little test got me into a situation where I had to look at it. Now, I'm showing you this picture because science changes, just like technology changes. And this cell phone that I have here in today can do a lot of things, but this was my first cell phone. If any of you are even close to my age, you can look back and say, oh my gosh, I remember that. That cell phone came in a bag. Now, why am I talking about cell phones when I was just talking about supplements is because for years in the fitness industry, we have always given all kinds of different supplements. And so I was used to that. What I want to introduce you today to something completely different, okay? Because technology changes and the fitness industry and health and wellness change as we begin to understand more and more. Now, this cell phone barely made a phone call, and it was 34 cents a minute, and it was $900 to purchase it. And that's all it did, was barely make a phone call. Well, we now fast forward today, I have the iPhone 10, and that iPhone 10 can make a phone call, but it sure does a lot of other things. And I'm sure your phone, if you have a smartphone, you realize that technology changes. Science and technology are always improving. And so that's what I want to show you today. There's been a radical shift in how we understand wellness. And so I want to share that with you. So what I was invited to watch was an ABC investigative report. Now, I want you to key in on one thing. This is not an advertisement for this company. It's an investigation. Now, I'm kind of one of those weird people. I like to watch investigations. I want to see them get the bad guy. Well, this was introduced to me, and so when I listened to it, I was blown out of my mind. So here's what I want you to look at. This investigation, did they get the bad guy? And number two, this company is publicly traded on the NASDAQ like Apple Computers and Google. So would this be a good company to invest in? So I want you to watch this ABC investigative report, and there's a little bit of a follow-up to kind of bring you up to speed. But this is how I was introduced to this company, and I want to share it with you the way I learned about it.
The following video is an ABC primetime investigative report that started the biohacking revolution in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment. For me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. So, just what's in this seemingly incredible pill? Well, actually, its roots are very humble. Protandim is a combination of 5 plant ingredients. Some you may know: green tea or turmeric, a spice used in Indian cooking. Others, Withania somnifera and Silybum marianum, are more exotic. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma, all of these, strokes, heart attacks.
Even mental disease?
Yes.
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after. Have we turned back the clock? Maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
We do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. For more, go to our website at abcnews.com.
Protandim NRF2 is protected by 7 U.S. patents. Major universities and government agencies initiated and continue self-funded studies following the ABC Primetime Investigative Report you just viewed that originally aired back in 2005. These studies continue to reveal more scientific evidence about Protandim NRF2's unique benefits and to evaluate how this anti-aging breakthrough can prevent and improve many of the problems associated with aging. The next video will bring you up to date on where we are today.
LifeVantage is really looking at two mega trends that are developing in the world right now. One of them is the rise of the health-activated individual. It's really a movement where people are becoming highly educated about their personal health, and they research the latest scientific information. And then they use genomic results to make health choices for themselves. Another important trend is individualization. And really, when you think about it, your health is a very individual thing.
Biohacking is actually happening to us right now.
When someone understands that by changing the inputs into their body, whether that's the amount of oxygen, how they're breathing, exactly what they're eating, the kind of water they're drinking, if you realize that just by changing those things, that you could get better cognitive performance today, you could have stronger relationships, and you could be lowering your risk of neurodegenerative diseases tomorrow while actually turning on your body's mechanisms to keep you lean and mean, like why the heck would you not want to do it?
We are aging every day. There is a certain way our genes are designed and expressed, and as we get older, they are not expressed as well as they should be, okay? So we want to turn on the system and how our function, our metabolic function, are affecting our everyday physical ability and mental ability.
So what we want to do is we want to understand the genetic code and say, how do we optimize it? And I think about it with my own kids. Like, if they're not doing well in a subject, it's not because they're not smart. They just don't know how to do it yet.
So we can biohack the aging process by using NRF2 activation, NRF1 activation, using probiotics, omegas. All of these types of supplements are coming to the forefront of what we now call nutrigenomics in order to biohack the aging process.
Really, to biohack your life, first you need a goal and then a plan to get there. And you can count on LifeVantage to help you tailor the products that we have into specific programs and stacks to help you achieve your specific health goals.
So a stack is multiple products put together in one bundle so that you can get a specific result that you're looking for.
So the Vitality Stack starts with the basic foundation, NRF1, NRF2 ProBio, to which we added the new product Omega Plus.
NRF1 is helping specifically our mitochondrial function. It's helping the number of mitochondria that we need, so it helps the energy state, and it's also helping as far as what the blueprint is being followed, what genes are being expressed. Unfortunately, mitochondria, they produce free radicals, and oxidative stress is actually increased the more powerful they are and the more use they are. So we need to take Protandim NRF2 alongside with it to decrease that free radicals, to decrease that oxidative stress that's happening. And that's why we also call it a 1-2 punch, because not only are we helping our mitochondria function normally, but we need to clean up the debris that happens with a good functioning mitochondria.
The probiotic that we have, it's going to improve the health of the gut, which is where 80% of your immune system starts.
So to have the company create a ProBio that has Wellmune in it, that helps to calm that immune response, and in a time-release fashion where it actually gets throughout the whole intestinal tract to address the immune system, you're addressing the root reason why people don't get well.
The omega-3s are an essential component of our cell membranes, and omega-3 deficiency makes that cell membrane not function very well. We need those omega-3s to keep our cell membranes, our nervous system, our brain healthy. The other thing, vitamin D is something that is just essential from all aspects. It improves immune systems. I think when you combine all of these products together, you've got the home run.
You're allowing your body to have everything it needs to perform at its best, both for repair, performance, and prevention put together.
We're going to continue to be at the forefront of nutrigenomics, coming up with scientific products that are proven to get a better benefit than you could possibly get by just taking those ingredients alone and then applying that to the biohacking outcomes of our customers today.
All right, guys, that is awesome. Every time I watch a company video, I begin to scratch my head and say, is this really real? I told you at the very top of the hour of this thing that I was going to tell you a little bit about two stories. Number one, the product story, and number two, the opportunity that it presents. We have this saying in our company that the products that LifeVantage makes will help you sleep at night, but the opportunity itself will keep you awake all night. And so that's why I take some of the products to help me, Axio, but I'll get into that in here in a minute. So you heard from the video, oxidative stress. It's a term that not a lot of people know. In the fitness industry, it was a little bit talked about, but to be quite honest, my good friend who's a physician says, listen, we know oxidative stress is out there, but there's not really a lot that we can do about it. And so what is this stuff called oxidative stress? And I love this simple picture of an apple. I mean, you cut an apple in half, you realize that just in a short amount of time, it's going to start browning. Well, as it begins to brown and more, it begins to rot. And so unfortunately, in our life, we're at various stages of this apple. All right. So what contributes to that? You can see easily from the pictures. Exercise itself creates more free radicals. Putting up your phone to your ear creates all kinds of waves and stuff like that, and affects your brain. And breathing benzene when you're pumping your gas. So many contributors to that, and it's only getting worse as technology advances in our country and in the world. So this slide over here that says free radicals and oxidative stress, I love this slide because it's not a company slide, it's a medical slide, and it basically says that the middle part of this is the problem, guys. We can't get away from it. And so here's the thing, those free radicals lead to those organs, and those organs, when they're adversely affected by oxidative stress, leads to disease. Now let me pause and give you a timeout real quick. We are not saying that Protandim and LifeVantage products prevent, treat, or mitigate disease, because we're not a pharmaceutical drug company, but I can tell you that oxidative stress is reduced by a minimum of 40% in just 30 days when you take the NRF2 activator that we have. And that's impressive. So here's the question. If you could eliminate or reduce, I should say reduce the oxidative stress damage in the middle of this thing, does it make sense that those organs would be positively affected? And I would have to say yes. So that's why you should care about this. So oxidative stress, I just want to show you this because at the beginning of this, I talked about when I was running fitness clubs, a lot of people would come to me, and this is the resource that I went to, pubmed.gov. And you can see that I've circled here, this was just today, 184,000 studies on oxidative stress. And I have a little cheat sheet in front of me. If you look to the right, it says download CSV. If you click on that, it'll tell you how many studies were submitted to this website every year. And in 2017, as we wrap up the year, 17,551 studies were submitted just in 2017. Do you know what that number was 10 years ago? In 2007, that year, there was only 7,798 studies. So in a 10-year period, we have grown to an escalation of an additional 10,000 studies per year. In 2018, we're not even there yet. Guess what? They already have 587 studies ready to be published on that site when we cycle into 2018. So the problem, you guys, is not going away. And so the scientific community is studying it more and more. So how can we eliminate that? This is the typical way that we've done it. Take lots of blueberries, lots of antioxidants, acai berries, vitamin C. Here's the science, guys. Direct antioxidants from those sources is a 1-to-1 ratio. One and done. This building was on fire and the firemen showed up and all they had was a little cup of water to eliminate that. That's equivalent to what direct antioxidants can do. They do something, they just don't do enough. Now, obviously, the fireman is a lot better resource for that, and that's the difference between a 1-to-1 to a million per second. Every second, your body is activating that NRF2 pathway through enzymes like catalase, glutathione, SOD. And here's the thing, guys, you don't have to be a scientist to understand this. Let's just be honest. Oxidative stress, bad. NRF2, good. If you just did that alone, that's enough to know that that's all you got to say. And that's impressive to me. Now, there's plenty of science if you're one of those geeks and just want to dig in. So we're talking about biohacking your body. Now, biohacker, I'm not talking about the guy that's in a hooded thing and he's, hacking into somebody's bank account. We're talking about the human body. What if you could reach in and hack the DNA and get it to work for you? So I like what it says here. It's a control the complex system, specifically your biology, in order to get a desired outcome. So I love what Dr. Brett Brimhall said. He said, your body's either being hijacked or you're going to be proactive and biohack. And all you have to do is drink out of plastic containers, and herbicides, fungicides, pesticides, they're everywhere. What do you do to retaliate or to be proactive against that? You biohack your body. And that's the science I'm talking about, guys. It's different. And that's what's exciting. This is just from the University of Washington not too long ago. I love this. I mean, they use the word extraordinary 2 times. Most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine. Now, you have to think about that. That's no small statement. I mean, think about all the things that have been discovered. That's not a small statement. That's by the University of Washington. I'm in Oregon. This is right in my own backyard, the Oregonian. They just did, not too long ago, did a kind of an expose talking about NRF2, and it just explains what it does. Essentially, it goes back to the cellular nucleus, rings the bell, and basically turns on up to 200 genes. And the scientists are calling it the longevity assurance factor. So this is a real thing. Just Google the heck out of NRF2, and you will be nothing but impressed with what you're seeing. So is this a big deal? Well, do you consider Google a pretty big deal? Do you think they're a pretty big company? I do. Well, look right here. If I zoomed in, if you can read it, it's a little blurry. It says the search giant is trying to launch a venture to extend human life. Did you know, I have a friend of mine who's getting involved in this business. She works at a health insurance company. There's about 10,000 people a day turning 65. And it's like for the next 15 years or something crazy like that. I mean, that's just astronomical. Well, Google sees this. I mean, do you think people want to get sicker faster and get more wrinkles quicker? No, there's a trend. It's a hard trend. And Google's investing in that. And this is the company that they're backing. It's called Calico. It stands for California Life Company in California. Look what it says right here. I highlighted, lead longer and healthier lives. That's their goal, to the tune of $1.5 billion they've invested into this. So they're not going to just throw money down the tube unless there's an opportunity. And so that is why I'm excited about the opportunity of what we have. These products are unique, and you're not going to see them anywhere else. And it's letting you know there's an answer to a hard trend. People want to live longer and healthier lives. So when you already watched the video a little bit about all that stuff. So Protandim is where we all started. NRF2 activates the body. It's proved by the Banned Substance Control Group. It's National Institutes of Aging did a study and said it was the only natural product proven to extend life. Didn't I just say that Google's trying to figure that out? Well, guess what? This is not a synthetic drug. It's a natural product. Amazing, amazing stuff. And here's what I want you to know. In the fitness business, I told you, people brought me stuff all the time. This is a cool slide that basically shows the ingredients in the product. Look at the Nerf2 activation of them separate, and then look at what happens when you have a synergy. It's 18-fold increase. Protandim is 18 times more effective than the sum of its parts, like making nitroglycerin. Put them all together, you have an explosion, separate them, they don't really do much of anything. That is what this scientist figured out, and he started with 35 herbs and narrowed it down to 5. So big stuff. I'm not going to go into all the science, but there's plenty there to keep you busy. So the big problem that they're finding in this aging is mitochondrial dysfunction, the aging of our cells. That's where this gray hair came from. Believe it or not, I actually had hair at one point, but oxidative stress has slowly taken that stuff away. And what if I could slow it down? So the energy of your cells is through your mitochondria. They're the powerhouses. And when that dysfunction is there, that leads to diseases. And so LifeVantage realized not only do we need to clean up the oxidative stress, but what if we could enhance the mitochondria, the cell, and give it more energy? We would have a 1-2 punch, and that's exactly what they did through another pathway called NRF1, and it's the activation of your mitochondria, and it's amazing. So those two products work very well together, which led to other products. So this Nerf2 activation led to a skincare line. What is your largest organ? It's your skin. Now this guy over here, I don't know what his problem is. He decided to use it on half his face just to see if it really worked. His barber actually thought he had a stroke. And so this, again, is not lotion. It's activating the cells of the skin. So that led to a great product called True Science. If you want to know more about that, just get with the person that invited you to check out this live Zoom. Another great thing is Nerf2 activation for your pets. Now, people were actually giving Protandim pills to their dogs because they love their dogs. I have a great chocolate lab. I love my lab, and I want him to live longer. I didn't want him to live longer when he was a puppy because he drove me nuts. But now I want him to stick around, and he's about 2 years old. But some people spend more money on their pets than they do their own kids. And so this is the only Nerf2 activator in the world, and it's called Protandim, and it's a really great product. So this is what I was talking about earlier, drinking something. This is called Axio. It's cognitive brain function. And no, you can't have a Star Wars lid. You have to find it yourself. It's at the store. I always say to people, this is what I say to them. It's not really, people talked about my bottle and they say, wow, it's a really cool bottle. I said, the bottle is cool, but what's inside is better. And that's how I actually get to talk to people. So it's kind of fun. But look at this spelling test over here. This is literally only 2 weeks apart, giving a child an energy drink. Wait a minute, did I just say I was going to give a kid an energy drink? Well, here's what you need to understand. It's not energy, it's smart energy. It has things like DMEA, quercetin, all kinds of stuff that help the brain function better and get rid of that brain fog. And not only that, it actually tastes awesome. So if you want to know more about that, again, get with the person that invited you to this. There's so much great science, and I want to respect your time. But look at that. Look at the difference in that spelling test. That's just crazy. So again, the miracles are not the pills or the drinks. It's what your body can do when you activate it. And so that led to what is everybody going to be thinking about in the next week or so? They're going to think about getting in shape and being better. This is not a weight loss program. It's a gut health program. It's a weight management system to give your body what it needs so that your body can absorb things like a probiotic, a cleanse, a protein shake, not a meal replacement, but just the good protein in there, and a fat burn. There's a great stuff in it. I'm not going to go into all the details. Amazing stuff. The probiotic, again, is just really important to understand that it's different. It has a system called BioTrack and Wellmune. Most probiotics never make it to your intestinal tract. And that's why you end up with leaky gut syndrome and all kinds of things, your adrenal glands and skin acne and all that stuff, because your gut is crucial to the rest of your body. And so this is an amazing product. You got to check it out. So there's a long story. I'm not going to go through all this, but I want you to understand that this happened quite by accident as far as where we are today. And the best part that I want to highlight is this. You see this little metal here? I mean, I didn't know what it was. What the heck is an Elliott crescent metal? But you know other winners like Alexander Graham Bell, Orville Wright, and Henry Ford. Well, the man who discovered the enzymes in your body, because of that discovery and how your body can actually eliminate free radicals from a cellular perspective, instead of taking all these, blueberries and stuff, he won this medal. And I want you to understand, think about Henry Ford. When Henry Ford figured out how to mass produce automobiles, there was no roads. I mean, it was just, if you could go back to Henry Ford's time, would you not take as much money as you could in time to invest into that company at that time? Well, of course you would, because you suffer from a disease. It's the same disease I have. You know what it's called? Hindsight. We all can look back and say, oh, I wish I would have invested in Apple or Uber or whatever it is, but you can't do that. You have to have foresight. And back in Henry Ford's time, people were not, what is an automobile? My horse is faster than that Model T. Well, Dr. McCord basically is saying antioxidants are a myth. They don't work like we thought. What we need to do is stop taking antioxidants and make our own. And for that, this man won an Elliott Crescent Medal. And this medal is reserved for people who change the industry. Man-made flight, impossible. All this stuff. So you can see where I'm going. It's no small deal. I'm telling you, it's amazing. So, when you walk into a GNC, take what I've just told you so far today. How much of that can you fit on a bottle and throw it into a shelf like this? You can't. Last time I was in a GNC, the kid behind the counter didn't know anything about what was there. He just knew it was on sale. LifeVantage tried to sell their products this way, this conventional way. And what happened is it got lost on the shelf of products, because everything that you know today is not going to fit on a small bottle. In fact, I have the bottles right here behind me. How much of that can I fit right here on this 1-inch square? It's not going to happen. You need someone to tell the story. And that's why you were invited to listen to this today. You're being told the story. And I like to call myself an overpaid storyteller. That's all I do, is just tell the story. So a lot of other people called, universities and stuff, after that ABC video aired. And that's how we ended up with so many peer-reviewed studies. So when you go to PubMed and type in oxidative stress, I already showed you that there's thousands and thousands of studies. But when I went there and typed in other companies' products, I didn't get any results. Now, if you type in the word Protandim, you're going to get 23 peer-reviewed studies, not from us, but from universities who think this product's amazing, and they took their own money to fund it. That's what blows my mind, which led to the American Heart Association doing a 26-page report on our product. This is no small thing. Now you can see what I said. It's going to keep you up at night thinking about who should I share this with. So let me get close to the end here. I mentioned earlier a term called hard trends. A hard trend is something that's not going away. For example, how many of you guys want to invest in a company that builds pagers? No, thank you, because that time has passed, right? Technology has changed. Hard trends are people that want to look better and feel better. They don't want wrinkles, all those kind of things. Those things don't go away. So this is Paul Zane Pilzer. He's a world economist. He wrote a book called The Wellness Revolution, the next trillion. You know where that's going to be made? In the wellness industry, because I just told you earlier that 10,000 people are turning 65 every day. And that's just one of the parts that we address. So here's some really great statistics. Why is this a great opportunity? Not just because the products are awesome, but 3 out of 4 Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Let me ask you a question. Do you have more month at the end of your money like most people do? People are 90 days away from bankruptcy to a tune of 80% of people. These are just some great statistics. I love this one down here where it says 82% of women who make more than $100,000 a year do it in one industry, network marketing. Would you tell your kid, hey, just forget about trying to be in the NBA, forget about playing basketball, you're never going to make it? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't do that. You would encourage them. But you know that if he blows his knee out or she hurts her elbow or whatever, that's over. The reason why I love network marketing now, I didn't love it then because I didn't understand it when I was in the fitness business, but it's an equalizer. It's a great equalizer. It doesn't care if you're tall, skinny, fat, short, blue, yellow, green, black, white. Doesn't matter what your skin color is. It rewards one thing. Can you tell the story? And that's all we're doing today, is telling you the story. So why is this industry important? This is just from August. Amazon. Did you know, I just found out this statistic because I work with this company and help them with their brand management. Did you know that Amazon represents 40% of all sales sold on the internet? 40%. Did you know what it'll be by 2020? 60. People, the way we buy things is changing. People want to just drop ship it to their house. Well, that is a trend. And if you're not ready for it, you're going to be out of a job. That's why it says right here, retail jobs are just vanishing. Malls are shutting down. This slide right here shows you that 3,500 malls shut down, and big stores like JCPenney's and Kmart and Macy's, for crying out loud, the Macy Day Parade, they're shutting down stuff. 63 stores they shut down, 63 Macy's. So there's a trend coming, and if you're not, what are you doing to set yourself up for this? Because if you don't, maybe you're going to be out of a job, and maybe if you're lucky enough it isn't you, you know people who need a different way, a better way, to dig your well before you're thirsty, okay? This is, in Oregon, we tried, the McDonald's wanted to raise the minimum, or people wanted to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. And you know what McDonald's did? They built a technology to get rid of that problem. They were opportunistic, and those people were displaced. And so technology is changing. Like it or not, I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying it's the reality. So people are losing jobs and they need an opportunity. And how about being first? What if I knew about Apple years ago and told you about it, would you jump on it? Well, probably nobody ever called you and told you. So this is what I want you to, I want to show you something really cool. This is called a bell curve. And it was basically shows two things. It shows a bell curve. Every company goes through it. If you look up in the top, you'll see that companies like Nike and Uber, all of them went through it. When's the time to invest in Uber? Now or 6 years ago? My Uber driver told me that if you'd invested $1,000 in Uber about 5 years ago, it'd be worth over $1 million today. Remember that disease I told you, hindsight? Well, you suffer from it just like I do. So I honestly believe this company is going to revolutionize the world because it's first to market with a brand new technology. But the question is, are you early enough in your mindset to take advantage of it? See these columns that go down the center? Innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority. Right now for Uber and companies like Apple and all that, we're already in the late majority. It's too late. They've already hit the top of their bell curve. 80% of the growth happens when the early majority starts seeing it. Hey, you know, I heard about Nerf 2. Oh yeah, all that kind of stuff. It's coming. The question is, will you be ready? And so this is powerful. If this even slightly resonates with you, I need you to understand one thing. Don't say no until you do your research. Do your research. Because always people say, well, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Well, how about saying this instead? If it sounds too good to be true, I should at least check it out. And that's what you should do. So, like I said, the timing is vital. The Direct Selling Association is a governing body for all network marketing. They say if you can get part of a company with the first 135,000 distributors, it's considered a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. There's great companies out there like USANA and Herbalife have millions of distributors. They've hit the top of their bell curve. So this company has grown to over $200 million a year, and we're just getting started. I honestly believe we're positioned to be $1 billion company. The question is, how much of that $800 million do you want to capture? Because this company pays about 50 to 55 cents of every dollar that comes in back out to the people who just tell the story. That's why I said I'm an overpaid storyteller, and I'm looking for other people to be overpaid storytellers. So let's talk about the money. This is a model we hired. No, just kidding. So this is the card they put all your commissions on. I love it. And so this is our income disclosure. And I wanted to draw your attention to the middle part because this is the average income that people make. Now, we are publicly traded on the NASDAQ, like with Apple and stuff like that. And we're not traded as a supplement company, by the way. We're traded as a biotech company. So in the nooks and crannies of your life, what would an extra, $16.92 or $248 a month, just part-time, to say, hey, you know what, I ran across something, I've been taking something, I really feel a difference, blah, 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 you know, you should check it out. What if you could just replace that? Remember earlier I told you 80% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. Did you know the statistic is if a person could make an extra $300 a month, they could avoid bankruptcy? So you want to just work it in the nooks and crannies. You want to do it kind of part-time and maybe make an extra $1,000 a month or $2,000. Or you can go for what I'm going for, what I like to call the Harry Potter money, the life-changing money, because the Harry Potter book and movies and stuff, it was only done one time, and she gets a residual from that. And so all the products that LifeVantage makes are on a residual basis, month to month, and you can really create a substantial income if that's what you want to go for. Just let the person know that you were invited to listen to. They invited you. Ask them how that works and how you can make that happen for yourself, because you definitely can change your life. So there's lots of ways that you get paid. I am not going to go through them all. I'm just excited about the venture program where you can get the title to a brand new Jeep. There's other things that they do as well as shopping and all kinds of stuff. But it's a really awesome statement to drive around and people ask you, how'd you get that? It was a gift, and not a pink Cadillac where it's a lease program, but it's actually yours. And it's called My Life Venture Program, an amazing program that can reward you for your effort. But this is what I really want to talk about, because this creates a unique culture. I love the culture of this company. There's many people who are far along the journey that are reaching down and basically saying, Rich, this is exactly how I did it. You know, when I was in fitness, imagine whatever it is that you do. But when I was in fitness, if we had a really easy way of getting people to come into our club and buy training, do you think I'm going to make a phone call to the gym down the street and say, hey, here's how we're getting it done? No, I wouldn't do that, because that's proprietary to me, and that would change the way my business is, my success, and so I wouldn't do that. LifeVantage is completely different. I love this saying, if you want what someone has, all you have to do is what they did. And so I imagine this company kind of like climbing a big ravine or a rock face, and they've already climbed the half the way there, and they're throwing the rope down to me and saying, Rich, step left, step right. And they're pulling me up to that point. So what LifeVantage does to create this culture is they take 4% of all the money and they throw it in this pot. And every month they divvy it up. And you can see that the first slice is given to Pro 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. They share in that. And then when you hit Pro 8, you get 2 pieces of the pie, and so on and so forth. And it doesn't matter if you have a bunch of people in your downline or their crossline or sideline. If you don't know anybody in Africa or wherever the countries will be, we're currently in Australia, in Japan, a bunch of different countries. I'm trying to get to the next thing and hurry up, but we're in a lot of countries. And it doesn't matter if you know them or not, because when you get the global sharing pool, you're going to get a percentage of that. Do you know what the piece of the pie, just the one slice of a Pro 10 is right now? It's crazy. It's around $35,000 a month. I mean, a month. This is stupid money. But can you imagine what this piece of the pie will look like when we go from 200 million to $1 billion company? It's amazing. So how do you get started? There's a couple different ways. There's the platinum pack, a gold pack, and a silver pack. You do any of these options. Now, I will tell you, there's different benefits for each one, and there's some really amazing statistics on how people have success based on what pack they buy. Get with the person who invited you with. I personally encourage everybody to do a platinum pack. There's so much benefit that comes with that, but get with the person and they'll tell you a little bit about that. One of the great things they do for customers, you heard earlier in the video about stacks. Well, there's a beauty stack, a vitality stack, an activated essential stack. And they've bundled these in such a way based on person's goals and what they want to accomplish. And I think it's really, really smart. And so there's a benefit for being a customer and getting a stack, or being a distributor and getting a stack. By the way, there's no difference in cost. If you're a customer, you get exactly the same subscription price as a distributor, and customers are the same. And so it's a really awesome way to go. And it also helps build your business when people understand how they're doing their stack. So free shipping and all that. Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. All right. So why LifeVantage? Just basically 4 things. Perfect timing. A hard trend that's not going away. By the way, you're not going to see wall tandem at Walmart because we have 7 patents on our product on just the Nerf 2 alone. And so hard trend, perfect timing, revolutionary, one-of-a-kind products, like I just said, no wall tandems, a proven system. Many of you that are watching this, if you've made it this far, are probably asking yourselves, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could do a Zoom, this training. I don't know if I can do it. Well, let me help you understand. There's a proven plan, a proven system that will make it easy for you to share. Because someone who ever invited you to this Zoom, they're not doing it. They just said, hey, check this out and watch this. If your finger works or any part of your body that can press play, then you can build this business, because that's as hard as it is just sharing the story. So you can do it. And we have amazing technology. I love that word. I say it a lot. If you count how many times I say it, it's crazy. But amazing technology on your phone and your app. I mean, who doesn't have one of these today? There's an easy way to share this with people by just sending them a text message. So I'm going to leave you with this slide. Who is this guy? Well, he's the inventor of the light bulb, right? Thomas Edison. Some people say Tesla did it, but the point of the matter was it was invented. Today, if you don't get anything out of what I've told you today, here's what I want you to understand. Today, people are living with the candle. They're taking antioxidants, and they're taking it because it's good for them. They want it. And it's not that it's bad. It's just there's a better way. And there's nowhere you can go in the world without seeing the invention of the light bulb in some form. So I promise you, there's a day coming when people will say, of course, I don't take antioxidants. My body makes them. And that leads to an amazing product that can help people activate their body and heal itself. And it also leads to that second side of the coin that I said, an amazing opportunity to be first. Consider this your wake-up call as far as that's concerned. And so I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this. I am sitting here at work, and I love what I do. But at the end of the day, you guys, it's not about me. None of this call has been about me. It's been about you. And I hope that you've got some value from what you learned today. And I urge you, do the research, check it out. And if you even remotely see it, then take a leap and look and do it. Because many of us look back and say, oh, I wish I would have done that. If nothing else, do it for your health, because many of us don't want to, get sicker faster program, get wrinkles faster program. And you know people that are in that same boat. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this today. I wish you guys an awesome, awesome day. Happy New Year, and may 2018 bring everything that you want. So as I like to end things, remember to love God
and live with passion.